Well, Elon Musk has launched yet another company. The venture is to merge artificial intelligence with the human brain. That's according to the Wall Street Journal. Neuralink, in its earliest stages of existence, is yet to make a public presence. Joining us right now from San Francisco to dig into the future of that match, AI and healthcare, Matt Murphy, Managing Director at Menlo Ventures, back in my office in San Francisco, where I'm supposed to be. Matt,
how are you?
This is intriguing, the notion of AI matching with healthcare. Give me a couple of sort of examples of the way AI can make our current healthcare system better.
Sure, two ways. So one of the main things that's happened over the past 5 years is a gene sequencer, which used to cost $5 million plus, is now down into the $30,000, $40,000 range. So you can process massive amounts of genomic data for an individual, for a disease, same thing with RNA. So you've got the ability to do things very bespoke on an individual basis. That's one. Secondly, there's massive amounts of healthcare data that's now in electronic form, whether it's EMR data, electronic medical records, or pathway data, which shows how hospitals treat the different disease states and every step along the way. So you apply AI to the data set that comes out of the gene sequencers to match treatments to diseases better. And on the pathway side, you can kind of take a look through AI and machine learning to figure out all the way to treat patients differently based on their characteristics and figure out which one is the best treatment for them. So that's the way you can create a smart system.
I've heard examples set out there saying like AI could look at, for example, MRI data and look at hundreds of thousands of images in a short period of time from many patients and start to identify sort of, hey, this thing looks like this thing that we've seen before, so you don't have to have a doctor holding something up to the light.
Exactly. So there's a company that we invested in back in the fall called Clarify in New York that basically is using computer vision for exactly that kind of an application. So if you think about what Twilio did for telephony services to allow any enterprise company to easily put telephony services in their application, Clarify does that for AI, starting with computer vision. So whether you're a drone company looking at crop data or a medical imaging data, now you can basically very simply use this API to help you visually define and determine whether something's a tumor or not a tumor, and do it at a much more precise level. What's happened in the last 3 years is now machines are better visually than humans at detecting things like that, and that's just been one of the many breakthroughs in AI over the last few years.
Really, that's just in the last few years. That's fascinating. Is the computing happening on site, or is the computing happening up in the cloud, where for this healthcare stuff that's going to require so much computational power?
Yeah, that's a great point. So, I mean, as these gene sequencers get more distributed out in the hospitals and even in food assembly lines, things like that, to test for pathogens, you need a cloud service. So it's very easy to kind of assess the analysis on site and then ship the data up to the cloud to do the more sophisticated AI. And the beauty of a model like that is you get to see data from all different hospitals, all different potential sources of DNA or RNA, and compare that against the data you have.
So it's not just a compute. It's not just a compute, but it's the sort of the storage of the files and the actual learning that's taking place.
Well, yeah. I mean, basically, one of the huge networks effects around AI is getting the data. So if you have a cloud service that's getting data from all over the world from various different devices and can create models based on data, then the model keeps getting smarter and smarter, and the solution keeps getting better and better. And that's what AI really needs to get better and better is the data. So it's kind of the cheap storage, it's kind of the cheap way you can move data around today, but it's also having really inexpensive machines on site, on premise, that used to not be possible to create that data in the first place.
And I should probably have started this whole thing by just asking what AI means, because I feel like the definition is very different depending who you're talking to. Is AI, for example, and machine learning in your mind the same thing?
Yeah, AI's artificial intelligence is the broader description of the field of computers doing things intelligently. Machine learning is a little bit more specific in that it means that the machines are getting the data and they're watching it and constantly making optimizations and improving it over time. So it's more specific, but I think most of the really interesting action is in machine learning right now. So you need to get the data, watch it, look for unusual patterns or patterns that you care about, and then create solutions. The machine can help create solutions, and then it's constantly looking at the efficacy of those solutions to modify them and make it better as you go. That's the machine learning part.
Right.
Constant iteration at a scale and speed that humans could never do.
And gets to 20 seconds left here. Where are we finding the best AI people? What school are they coming out of, or something like that?
Oh, NYU's a great one. Stanford's fantastic.
You said that because it's my alma mater, didn't you?
NYU's your alma mater?
You looked at the notes. It's hard to believe I graduated from college, but I did.
Matt from Clarify is from NYU. But no, it's
Awesome.
there's a huge amount of talent out there. Obviously, the big five are trying to gobble them up. They've bought 140 AI companies in the last 3 years, 40 in the last year. So everywhere there's a huge arms race for this talent right now because people know this can be a massive differentiator for any application, any business.
Matt Murphy, Managing Director of Menlo Ventures. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.